Okay, so let's dive in. Today we're looking at just one source, but it's a powerful one. Her hidden son and the truth left behind.
Yeah,
Our mission here really is to get right to the heart of this story. It's, set in a really tough period of American history.
absolutely.
We want to pull out the key pieces about the immense pressures people faced,
Right.
the incredibly difficult choices they had to make, and, well, the impact of secrets kept for years.
It's a heavy one, looking at love, survival,
Mm.
and what happens when the past just won't stay buried.
Exactly. So where does the source start us off?
Well, it throws you straight into the really harsh reality of the 1950s in America. Jim Crow laws weren't just like social suggestions, they were the law.
Right, enforced segregation.
Totally. And the source makes it crystal clear relationships across the color line, especially a black man and a white woman. That wasn't just frowned upon. It was dangerous, criminalized even.
The threat was real. Violence, prison.
Constant threats, especially down south. And even heading north, the best they could often hope for was just indifference, not real acceptance.
And the source puts faces to this, right?
Yeah.
Oliver Bryant and Sarah Whitmore.
Yeah, two people from completely different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver, a black mechanic, poor background in the South. He learned about the world's dangers early on.
And Sarah.
Sarah Whitmore. White, wealthy family, very established Southern roots. Her father, Charles Whitmore, is painted as embodying that rigid mindset of the time. Very controlling.
So total opposites in terms of background and expectation.
Completely. And yet, the source describes how they found each other. In secret, of course.
Where?
In a kind of hidden, integrated space. Like a basement club, maybe, somewhere offering just a brief escape from the rules outside. The source says there was this immediate connection.
But incredibly risky.
Extremely, defying everything. And that defiance, well, it didn't go unnoticed.
Her father found out.
Charles Whitmore. The source describes pure fury, dragging Sarah away, and then Oliver gets a note. Not subtle. Basically, stay away. A direct threat.
Yeah, they didn't stay away.
No. It's kind of amazing, actually. The source details this incredibly brave, maybe reckless decision they made. They ran.
Together. Where did they go?
Together, fled to a factory town up in Illinois, not looking for a welcome wagon, just hoping maybe people would mostly leave them alone. Indifference as a shield, maybe.
But life wasn't suddenly easy, I imagine.
Far from it. The source is very clear about the hardship. Poverty. Grueling jobs. Oliver in a steel mill, Sarah sewing.
Just grinding it out.
Yeah, building a life based on sheer endurance. They got married quietly,
Yeah.
privately. But beneath all that, Sarah was carrying something huge.
The hidden son.
That's the core secret. Years before Oliver, when she was only 17, Sarah had a baby boy. Her family hushed it all up, forced an adoption to protect their reputation.
Wow. And she carried that all through her life with Oliver.
Yes. The source shows how that guilt, that trauma, it just sat with her. Created this, quiet distance sometimes, even after they had their own kids, Isaac and Margaret.
That adds such a complicated layer. And the source mentioned something about why she initially went with Oliver.
Yeah, later in life, Sarah apparently confessed that her first motivation wasn't purely love, it was fear, escaping the life her father wanted for her.
A desperate escape, then.
Initially, perhaps, but the source is also clear that over the years, a really deep, genuine love did grow between them, built on that, complicated start.
But the past doesn't just vanish.
Never does it? As Sarah got sick later in life, things started to surface. Persistent threats still coming from her father in letters.
Still trying to control things.
Seems like it. And then something even more chilling. A mysterious letter. Someone else knew about the first trial, just saying, I know who you are.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
So did she tell Oliver everything before?
A lot of it, yeah. The source says in her final days she confessed many things, hidden money, her early fears about marrying him. Oliver was just there for her. Quiet support. She seemed to unburden herself of a lot.
Finding some peace, maybe?
Believing she'd shared what mattered most. But there was one more secret. The biggest one.
What was it?
After Sarah passed away, Oliver found it, tucked away. A letter she hadn't shown him. It contained the line, "Your son is looking for you."
Oh, wow. Her first son.
Yeah.
Actively searching.
Exactly. The shock, the pain Oliver must have felt. Discovering this massive secret, this whole other person, after she was gone, the source really conveys that devastation.
So what does he do? That's an impossible situation.
Totally. The source talks about his struggle, what good could come from digging all this up now. But then he thinks about their son, Isaac, and he decides this other son, the hidden one, deserves the truth that was kept from him for so long. So Oliver decides he has to find him.
even if it unravels everything.
Even then, he feels he has to carry that truth now.
So, looking back at this whole story from the source,
Yeah.
what are the big takeaways for you?
Well, one huge thing is how these big societal forces, like Jim Crow, they don't just exist out there. They shape individual lives, force impossible choices, create these deep, hidden conflicts and secrets.
Secrets with long shadows.
Exactly. And it shows that the weight of the past, especially when it's buried like that, it doesn't just dissolve, it lingers.
Right.
Often it falls on the next generation or those left behind to deal with.
It really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? What happens to the truth when the person holding it is gone? Who picks up that weight?
And who decides what to do with it? It's a powerful question to sit with.